We're going to learn about distributive property. Distributive property is a property that allows you to take a larger number and break it into smaller pieces and add them together. Multiplying a sum by a number is the same as multiplying each addend by the number and adding the products. Distributive property says that I could take numbers like 3 times 5, which equals 15. Here's a height of 3, a base of 5, and I have an area of 15, and I can break it apart into smaller, more manageable, easier parts. For instance, 3 times 3 equals 9, and 3 times 2 equals 6. And I can take 9 and 6 and add them together to get 15, which is the same as 3 times 5. How could this help you if you forgot 8 times 7? You could break 7 apart into 5 and 2, because 5 and 2 added together make 7. And you could say 8 times 5 is 40, and 2 times 8 is 16. So 40 and 16 make 56. Okay, let's take a look at this and think about God's love for us and how He distributes His love to all people on the earth. And let's say that this red block out here is God, and this yellow block is you, and this blue block is me. So God loves us. God loves everybody in the world. And so let's say that the parentheses is like the world. Okay, and God is looking at the world with love. Okay, well, what's inside of here? Well, God, and I'm putting R for red. This can represent a variable. Variables stand for numbers, so this could be any number. God loves you, and we'll put Y for yellow, for you, and me, we'll put B for blue. God loves you and me. So, God, which is represented by the red chip, loves, which is multiplication. I'll put an X there. I think of X's and O's, kiss, hug, what we write on notes to mom when we say, oh, we love you, have a good day, or she writes notes to us. But X for multiplication, and then Y for yellow, God loves you, and is addition, and God loves me. He distributes His love to everyone in the world. Okay, distributive property. Distributive property allows mental math. It allows you to break things apart in your head to make it simpler into simpler parts. Partial products proves this property true. Okay, so let me show you what that means. So let's take 4 times 27. How can I use distributive property to help me solve 4 times 27 if I don't know it right off the top of my head? Well, I can break that 27 into parts. I can break it into 20, and I can break it into 7. And then I'm going to say 4, and put my 4 over here. Okay, and I'm going to say 4 times 20. Well, I know 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 20 is 80. 4 times 7 is 28. Then I'm going to add the two together. 80 plus 28 is going to give me 108. So 108 is 4 times 27. All right, let's take 5 times 15 and see if we can break that part easier. So I'm going to take 5, and I'm going to break 15 apart into 10 and 5. So 5 times 10 is 50, and 5 times 5 is 25. So 5 times 15 is 75. So this would be my answer. I used distributive property to break that larger number into smaller pieces to make this simpler so that I could do it in my head. What about variables? Well, how would you handle a variable? How would you break that apart? Well, this is 3 times c, which is 3c, plus 3 times 5, which would be 15. Or I could set it up this way. C plus 5, C plus 5, C plus 5. And here I have 3 C's. I'm just going to add up my columns. 3C plus 15. Let's take a look at this one. X plus 7 times 4. So we have to distribute the 4 to X and distribute the 4 to 7. So I'm going to have 4X plus 28. I could set it up with my squares here and put the 4 on the outside and my X at the top and my 7 at the top. 4 times X is 4X. 4 times 7 is 28. And so again, it just shows me I have 4X plus 28. All right, the last one. We have 6 times 5 minus 2. So to use distributive property here, I would just say 6 times 5 is 30. And 6 times 2 is 12. And 30 minus 12 is 18. Okay, I want you to push pause right here, and I want you to use the distributive property to solve these. All right, let's take 9 times 34 first, and let's break the 34 apart. Maybe I'm not sure right off the top of my head what 9 times 34 is, but I know that I can break that 34 into pieces. And I can say, well, 9 times 30 and 9 times 4. I know that 9 times 4 is 36. So I'm just going to fill in that block with 36. And I know that 9 times 3 is 27. So 9 times 30 must be 270. Now let me add the two together. I know that 70 plus 30 is 300. Plus 6 would be 306. So my answer here would be 306. Let's go to 16 times 5. How would I break this apart into simpler, more manageable parts? Well, I would say 5 on the outside, and I'd break my 16 into 10 and 6. So 5 times 10 is 50, and 5 times 6 is 30. And I can add the two together and go ahead and say, oh, 80. Okay, let's go to 4 times x plus 2. Well, I'm going to distribute 4 to x, which would be 4x. But let me write this out using the blocks. So x I'll put here, and 2. I'll put here, and I'll put my 4 on the outside. 4 times x is 4x. And 4 times 2 is 8. And so now I'll just have 4x plus 8. Okay, last one. We have 3 plus n in parentheses times 5 on the outside. And again, I'm just going to distribute the number on the outside here to everything on the inside of the world, okay? And God distributes his love to the whole world. And remember, the world's represented by the parentheses. So 5 times 3 is 15. And 5 times n is 5n.